Hi, this is Elizabeth and welcome to Sube la Vida. Today we are going to talk about something very different. We are going to talk about the plastic bottle, the problem that we are facing in our planet, and that is something that all of us should be aware. Mario Escobar is the digital media producer of the Story of Stuff, and he will talk about what is happening in our planet with the plastic bottle and what we can do. I hope you can do something for your kids and for the following generation. Thank you.
Hi, Mario. How
Hi,
are you?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here with us in Sube la Vibra. Mario, can you tell us what is the story of stuff?
Yeah, the story of stuff is originally it was a 20-minute animated film created by Annie Leonard, and it debuted in 2007, and it was a basic piece of information in the animated style with a host talking about our consumption and how we consume too much in our society and how we need to sort of reduce stuff to basically better our planet and better our own enjoyment as human beings. So it started as an animated movie, and we've created 9 animated movies since the beginning, and now we are a full-on staff of producers and content creators that are basically sharing in that community from the initial experience of the first story of stuff.
Wow, that's amazing.
What will happen is we continue consuming like this.
Yeah, we are basically trying to create a new context and a new conversation about how people consume.
Mhm.
So at Story of Stuff, one of our major fights is plastic pollution. We think plastic pollution is untenable, and it's basically literally we're drowning in plastic, from our marine aquatic life to our oceans to just regular pollution in Southeast Asia and how we dispense with things that we think are recycled. So at Story of Stuff, we don't believe in the concept of throwing things away because we don't think there is a place called away. So we have so much pollution that we have to deal with that it's about time that we address our own consumption and then call on corporations and major businesses to basically be more clever in the sort of plastic and sort of how we wrap the materials that we consume our food and drink with. We're very anti-bottled water. We're not anti so much as we like people to be more conscious about their consumption, generally speaking, so that we can all have a better planet to share for the next generation.
Okay.
This is a story about a world obsessed with stuff. It's a story about a system in crisis. We're trashing the planet, we're trashing each other, and we're not even having fun. The good thing is that when we start to understand the system, we start to see lots of places to step in and turn these problems into solutions.
How conscious are the people about this?
Well, that's an interesting question, because as we go through the process, the people in our community, the people that follow us on Facebook and social media, they're very engaged. They don't like bottled water. They don't like the companies that are perpetuating this like plastic pollution everywhere. Those people are engaged, but I wouldn't say that's the majority of people in, say, the North America where I'm in Berkeley, San Francisco. I'd say in Berkeley, San Francisco, about half the folks are really into it. They really, kind of curb their consumption. But I would say in the Midwest of the United States, when we travel, people aren't as engaged with the fight. So it's kind of a two-pronged thing. It's engaging with people that are already interested in the issue, and it's also creating awareness in folks that don't really consider these things.
Yet people in the US buy more than 500 million bottles of water every week. That is enough to circle the globe more than 5 times.
How can we explain to the people here what is happening with the consumerism?
So what we're doing is we're using media and we're using our traditional animation style to create more awareness about plastic pollution. So our 2 fights at Story of Stuff, again, are water privatization. We fight companies like Nestle that are trying to take water out of the ground and sell it back to us in cheap plastic. So we basically create cartoons, we create documentaries, and we create social media campaigns based on this fight that, hey, these companies are kind of ruining our environment. They're kind of taking our natural resources, and they're kind of dumping their crap everywhere on us, and we're tired of it. So what we're doing at Story of Stuff is working on a massive piece called The Story of Plastic, which is a hybrid. It mixes the animation style that people know, and it also takes documentary techniques, and it tells the stories of people that are fighting plastic pollution in the global north and in Southeast Asia and throughout the world. So what we basically believe is that through telling thoughtful stories people can become engaged in these fights through media and through social media, just create a community awareness of these problems.
But how can we work with these problems?
We at Story Stuff believe in consumers creating the change that we want to see, right? So we vote with our dollar in the United States. So we're very consumeristic culture. We're very much like, hey, if we don't support companies or if we raise awareness about the companies that are polluting our seas, then that's a good way to start the fight. So, I mean, I guess if the question is how do we do it when there's so many fights, the way we say we fight this fight is by creating awesome stories that engage our community to maybe think differently about how they approach consumption generally. Again, mainly towards plastic pollution and mainly towards water privatization, right? In the United States, we don't think you should be drinking water out of a bottle. We don't think single-use plastic is where you should be. So what we're hoping is we're planting the seeds for this generation, so that the next generation will basically be like, oh yeah, plastic bottled water is stupid. Why do we do that? So we're trying to change the conversation now, just so the next generation will have all the talking points they need for the next fight, so to speak, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Once they've manufactured all this demand, creating a new multi-billion-dollar market, they defend it by beating out the competition. But in this case, the competition is our basic human right to clean, safe drinking water. Pepsi's vice chairman publicly said, the biggest enemy is tap water. They want us to think it's dirty and bottled water is the best alternative. In many places, public water is polluted thanks to polluting industries like the plastic bottle industry. And these bottled water guys are all too happy to offer their expensive solutions, which keep us hooked on their products. It is time we took back the tap. That starts with making a personal commitment to not buy or drink bottled water unless the water in your community is truly unhealthy.
Are you sharing this information to the schools?
So, Story of Stuff, we've had a long history of sharing our media. If you go to our website, if you see us on social, if you go to our YouTube page, we want that stuff shared with schools, educators. If you email me at The Story of Stuff, I'm Mario at Story of Stuff. If you email me, I will send you all the media you need for your classrooms, for your schools. We believe in educating the next generation because we feel like people in my generation and the older generations are causing the problems. It's the next generation that's to solve them. So the media that we create is very age appropriate and it's friendly for people 6 years old to 60 years old. So we want everybody to be engaged in the fight. If you want any stuff in your schools, I'll send you everything you want. Like depending on what your issue is. If you guys are really concerned about plastic pollution, we'll send you a bunch of media. If you're concerned about water, bottled water or microfibers, we have a ton of issues that are related to all pretty much the same subject matter. So, and we're happy to share.
What is your recommendation for all of us?
If you want to get involved, we encourage go visit us at storyofstuff.org. And then we want you to basically visit us on Facebook. Share the media that we're basically engaging people with. If you basically are very emotional and you want to basically save the planet, then find one of our cartoons or one of our pieces of media and share it with a friend and then start the conversation, because we think creating stories and sharing those stories is the best way to make the change in this world. So go visit us online and go hit us up on Facebook. That'd be great.
Okay.
Carrying bottled water is on its way to being as cool as smoking while pregnant. We know better now. The bottled water industry is getting worried because the jig is up. We are not buying into their manufactured demand anymore. We will choose our own demands, thank you very much, and we're demanding clean, safe water for all.
Is the Story of Stuff global?
Story of Stuff is global. We're trying to basically keep this campaign global. We have a large following in Australia and England. We have followings in Southeast Asia. And we're trying to diversify the brand so it's not just like a Bay Area, Berkeley hippie thing, right? We want to speak to everybody, and we want it to be a nonpartisan thing too. We want people in the Midwest that are engaged. We want people that are Republicans or conservatives or Trump supporters. There's no reason why you would be a supporter of Trump and not think that plastic pollution isn't a problem, right? So we cross the gap. We want political age gaps, all of them erased, because this fight is universal. So people in Southeast Asia that are working hard to get plastic out of their water are just as important as people in Flint trying to get clean water in Michigan. So we believe in a universal message, and we believe that it's a global message. So, and the Story of Plastic movie that we're working on right now is a truly global story. It starts in Berkeley, it goes to India, it goes to China, and then it comes all the way back to the United States. So we believe telling the story is very important.
times.
Okay.
How did this come to be?
Okay. Can you give us one recommendation to clean the environment?
Well, I think the number one thing that we can talk about is ending single-use plastic as a part of our dynamic every day. So, and that can be from a personal consumption model, right? You don't need to buy plastic water bottles all the time, right? You can buy a cup and you can put your water in cups, and then you can do your little part there. The other thing you can do is basically hold companies responsible, right? Like Nestle privatizes water all the time, and everybody likes Nestle chocolate and the candy and all that. But if you really think about what Nestle's doing, they're basically taking the water from people and saying, we're going to sell it back to you in cheap plastic. So what I tell people to do is just be thoughtful when you go to a store. Think about what you buy, think about why you buy it, and just like vote with your dollar and just be really considerate about where your dollar's going and why you're spending money. Because that's all we can do is have people ask the questions, and then they can dig deeper, and then they can find the fight that they're interested in, whether it's plastic pollution or water. So, I mean, that's the main thing is a lot of people are like busy and they have social justice issues or other issues. You know, plastic pollution may not seem like the biggest thing in the world, but eventually it will be a massive problem that we all have to deal with. So just get involved.
To begin with, there are many more things we can do to solve this problem. Lobby your city officials to bring back drinking fountains. Work to ban the purchase of bottled water by your school, your organization, or entire city. This is a huge opportunity for millions of people to wake up and protect our wallets, our health, and the planet. The good news is it's already started. Bottled water sales have begun to drop while business is booming for safe, refillable water bottles. Yay! Restaurants are proudly serving tap, and people are choosing to pocket the hundreds or thousands of dollars they would otherwise be wasting on bottled water.
That's great. That's great. Thank you very much, Mario. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support.
Yeah, whatever. Come visit us at storyofstuff.org and come visit us on Facebook and like us and all that.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Mario. Thank you for being with us in Sube la Vibra. Bye-bye. Have fun.
Thank you.